So slope is a ratio, it's a fraction that we use to measure the steepness of a line. And as Gavin Newman had mentioned earlier, this ratio is a ratio to the amount we rise over the amount we run. It's rise over run. Another way to think about this will be your change in y over your change in x. Okay, that little triangle means change in. You see it in chemistry all the time. Sometimes you'll see it in physics. Audrey, if you're having trouble seeing from there, I can't tell if you're trying to crank your neck. You can move to the center seat too, okay? The slope formula is the one we spent some time discussing earlier. Let's call it slope formula. This will be m is equal to, does anybody remember what we decided slope formula was? You have it hard? Good, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And let's just do a real quick example of this. If I want to find the slope between 2 points, I can either count the rise over the run, which is essentially what we're going to do, or we can find the difference here. Believe it or not, this is what my Algebra A kids are doing right now as well. Coco, give me a number. 7. Megan M, give me a number. 12. Elizabeth, give me a number. 10. And Tim, give me a number. 2. If I want to find the slope between these 2 points, what we need to recognize, what would my x1 value be? 7. So this will be my x1. What will my y2 value be? You have a Newman in 2. My y2 is 2. That would mean this is my y1 and this is my x2. Okay, first set of pairs, second set of pair. Then all we got to do is plug it in. So if we have m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, we can say this is equal to my y2, which is 2 minus y1, which is 10, or 12, excuse me. I had to go and mess up now, didn't I? And then x2, which is 10, minus x1, which is 7. What is 2 minus 12? Negative 10. What is 10 minus 7? 3. There's our slope. Okay, I can't reduce it. If you can reduce it, you should reduce it, but that's as far as you can go. What does the negative 10 over 3 tell me about the direction of the line? It's going down from left to right. It's going down. Okay, let's add a couple notes in here just to make sure we've all got the same concepts. The slope of a horizontal line is what? Barrett, you got something to write notes in? Buddy, how many times have I'm going to pause this because what is the slope of a horizontal line? Donovan Phillips. It is 0. So if I have a line that moves strictly side to side, the slope is 0. And if we think about it, that makes sense, right? I'm not going up any, so my rise would be 0. And 0 divided by any number is just going to be 0. What is the slope of a vertical line? What do we call that, Juliana? It is undefined. Does anybody know why we say it's undefined? Give me a reason, Donovan. You can't divide by 0. Love it. Perfect. Because in this case, our run would be 0. So if it was a vertical line, our run would be 0, and we can't have that. And I'll nerd out later. Cool. Let's see. What else do we need to know? Let's talk about, real quick, that's good for slope. Let's talk about slope-intercept form. All right, show of hands here. Who remembers what slope-intercept form is? This is one that was probably just drilled into you in Algebra A. Good deal. Got a couple good hands here. Okay. Kate Nielsen, can you tell me what slope-intercept form is? Yeah, it is. Very good. What did this M represent? This M was our slope. Okay. And this B, good, it is your y-intercept. Was that you, Audrey? Very good. Intercept. Your slope and y-intercept. Let's make another note here. What do we know about parallel lines? What do we know about parallel lines? Go ahead, Donovan.
The same slope.
Good. The parallel lines have the same slope. We talked about this earlier this year, and it's critically important when we're talking about parallelograms. Remember, parallelograms have how many sides that are parallel? 2 pairs of parallel sides, right? So all 4 sides are parallel to another side. In a trapezoid, how many sets of parallel lines do we have? Just 1 pair of parallel lines. So that's the difference between a trapezoid and a parallelogram. Let's see, if we know that parallel side or parallel lines have the same slope, let's try and convert 2 lines to slope-intercept form and decide if they're parallel. So maybe I'll do a question from this homework here. So I want this. No.
Good afternoon, Stockbridge Junior Senior High staff and students.
So is this line x minus 2y equals negative 8 parallel to the line y equals negative 0.5x minus 5? Well, what we need to do is we need to convert them both to y equals mx plus b. But since the announcements were on, I just wrote this in here. What is the slope of this line? Okay. Negative 0.5. Good. Okay. And I know 2 lines are parallel if they have the same slope. So all I need to do is find the slope of this second line. And to do that, we'll convert it to y equals mx plus b. X minus 2y equals negative 8. How do I get y by itself? Gavin Newman? Good, I'm going to subtract x, not just from this negative 2y. Where else do I need to do it? From the negative 8. Okay, so I'll leave this as negative 2y is equal to negative x minus 8. Okay, Nielsen. I would have to divide by -2, and I want to divide each piece by -2. We would get y is equal to -x, -1x divided by -2 is going to be what? Go ahead, Newman. Yeah, half x or 0.5x. -8 divided by -2 is +4. What is the slope here? 0.5. Are they parallel? Is -1/2 the same as +1/2? No. Not parallel. Okay, we'll pick up there with an example tomorrow, but that should get you through most of your HRW.